Uh, that's why I normally like to come on live very very early in the morning. At that time, people never log into their social media. But immediately it's 8 o'clock like this, everybody don't do TikTok. Everybody don't dey stream. And the more people you have that streaming, the more traffic you have on the network. Let me see. Maybe say, what this one doing? It will not stay very well. So, but here are some things you need to do. One, you need to sandpaper the surface very well. Sandpaper the surface very well. Make sure you dust it and then get a primer. Why? Because the prime, you have a smooth surface that's like glass. You need something that's like gum, that will gum whatever paint you want to put on it. So that is the work of your primer. So you apply primer on the stucco. After it dries, then you now apply your satin paint. That's how you can paint satin on stucco. But if you go directly and paint satin on stucco, you just see that the satin is just peeling off and everything. So, but those are the things you need to do before painting satin on stucco. Oh my god. I think all those things I've been saying is not recorded.
It's not recording.
It did not record. Okay, let me check. Okay, 56. Let me check this. Hey, if you know record, I will try for this life. There's no record. Or maybe but this one is showing 58 minutes. The one is showing.
Is this one I'll drag to join this one?
Yeah?
I should drag this.
Okay, yes, drag it. Is it drag?
I'll join the black one.
Just drag down to the center. Oh my god. Let me check to you. It will not be good though. Let me see.
I thought maybe the file would be
It's disturbing the audio. It's because I just want to check some things. I'll off it. This one flashing now. Okay. If your paint is peeling but you realize that your wall is not wet, this is the possible cause and here's how to
If your
fix
paint
it.
is peeling, but you realize that your wall is not wet, this is the possible cause, and here's how to fix it.
Okay, sorry. If your paint is peeling but your wall is not wet, this is the possible cause and how to fix it. You see, the reason you are seeing that paint peeling is because of improper surface preparation while they were preparing the wall, or the plastering on the wall is not okay. So this is how to fix it. If it is improper surface preparation, the only solution is, one of the best solution is to apply a wall stabilizer. So a wall stabilizer will also work for if the wall has if the wall the cement they use for the wall is not too good but it's still manageable. You can still use a stabilizer to prevent the wall from dusting off before you now repaint the wall. So whether the surface is not well prepared, if it is the surface is not well prepared, you can sandpaper the surface very well, apply a proper primer, apply a primer on the wall on two coats, and then after that you now paint your wall. You won't have that issue again. But if it is water issue, you need to get damp proofing materials to apply on the wall before you now repaint it. Somebody is asking, will Costa 2K and Crystal Coat work for a wall where we don't know the leakage source? Will it stop the dampness? The answer is yes and no. You see, Costa 2K will solve the, yes, so Costa 2K and Crystal Coat are damp proof chemicals, yes. But if you want it to last long, you need to find the source of the water and block it. So that way it will improve the durability of the chemical. Yes, it can still stop the water you are seeing on the wall, but if the leakage is not seen, you can still stop it, but it will not be as durable as you stopping the leakage first before you now apply the Costa 2K. So those are the that's what so try as much as possible to find the possible cause of the water. Most water leakage comes from most water you see on your wall come from either the foundation or the way you live your lifestyle. Maybe you always close the window and the door, or water is coming from outside, like from the roof, or your neighbor's roof is leaking. So each one has different way of treating it. Somebody is asking, can you use Costa 2K and Crystal Coat for your already plastered decking? The answer is yes. What you need to do is to apply the Costa 2K and Crystal Coat on the decking, and then you use tiles over it, or you find all this artificial grass, you place it over it to protect the Costa 2K and Crystal Coat from direct sunlight. So once you do that, water will not be able to sink into your decking and affect your room down below. Somebody is asking, can I use Costa 2K and Crystal Coats to solve water leaking from my POP? The answer is no. You see, Costa 2K, the way we use Costa 2K and Crystal Coat is to apply it on the block, not on POP. So if you have water leaking on your POP, what you need to do is to find the source of that water. In most cases, the two reasons that can cause your POP from leaking water is probably your neighbor that is above you have water issue. Maybe their tiles, they did not cover the tiles very well, or their drainage, the drainage of their bathroom or their toilet is not well sealed, so water is following that up. They have a broken pipe. So those are the reasons you might have water leaking from their place to your own place. So what you need to do is to stop that water leakage first. So you don't need to use Costa 2K. After you stop it, wait for some time, like 2-3 weeks, and make sure your place is well ventilated, so that that place will dry. The place you are seeing water on your POP will dry very well. After that, you can get a stain blocking primer. Then after that, you apply it on it, and then you paint your place, so you won't have any issue. But when in a case whereby the water has caused mold to show on your ceiling, you can get chemicals like the Atop mold defense kit. You use it to rub the place, use it to cure the place first, and then you use a primer, and now you paint. So that's what you need to do. So this one will help you kill the mold, and then you apply the chemicals there. Okay, Mr. Ayino, let me stay down. Somebody is asking, can I use matte paint as a primer before painting silk paint on it? The answer is no. Matte paint is not a primer. The money, don't waste your money, because the money you want to use to buy matte paints, just use it to get a proper primer. Get a proper primer like this one, put it on your wall, and then you paint your silk or satin or any other paint you want to paint on it. Why? Because the work of a primer is not just as a base coat alone. The work of a primer is to allow your paints adhere properly, like stick properly to the wall,
and also it will give your paints some level of depth and durability. So that's why you use some primers can also stop block stain that's on the wall and bring out the beauty of the paint you end up painting on it, whether it's silk paint, satin paint, or emulsion paint. So get a primer instead of matte or even emulsion. Get a primer. It's not that it's expensive. Like this one now is around 25,000, 25,000 or 30,000. You can get a good primer for that amount, depending on the surface area of the place you want to paint. Somebody is asking, can I use primer on floor tiles? The answer is no. So there are some type of priming agents that you can use on tiles, whether it's floor tiles or wall tiles. But all this regular primer for wall, they will peel easily when you use them on tiles. So don't use normal regular primer on tiles. I don't know why you want to use primer on tiles, because tiles is a decorative finish already. I don't know why you want to put primer on it. Probably you want to apply something on it, but don't use all this regular primer on it. Get the proper primer for that particular tiles. Somebody is asking, how much do I need to start a painting business? So if you are somebody that wants to start a painting business, it depends on the scale at which you want to start. So for a painting business, if you want to start with a small, very small shop, you need about 1 million to 2 million. This particular amount can change, but if you want to go on a medium level, let's say 10 million to 15 million. But if you want to go on a larger scale, even 20 to 100 million, you'll still be struggling. Yes, paint business is a business that consumes a lot of money. Why? Because you have different type of paints. You have for example, you have weather mask, you have satin, you have emulsion, and each type of paint have each different color. So you have to get them. Like for example, if you are buying white, or let's say you are buying cream, you can't just buy one bucket of cream. Why? What if your customer need more than one bucket? So you need to buy like 10, 20, and you need to do it for both. All of this, you need to buy 20 of this in cream, 20 of this in weather mask, 20 of this, 20 of this. You have to also do it for laterite red, for blue, for this. So that's why paint is a business that consumes a lot of money, and if you not do it right, there are a lot of paint businesses that are sort changing themselves. Why? Because their margin is very, very thin. Paint, like especially when you are selling the low end paints, margin is very, very thin. I will not lie to you, the profit is not. Most people just think that, oh, there's money in paint. It's only all the top guys that are making money in paint, unless you are somebody that you can sell in volume. You get, if you can sell in large quantity ahead, that's when you say, okay, let's say for 500 naira, we like when you add it up in a large volume, that's when you make money. So but most paint business, if you don't do it right, you end up getting it wrong. Wow, 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 wow. I forgot to off this fan.
Be from leaking water is probably your neighbor that is above you have water issue. Maybe their tiles, they did not cover the tiles very well, or their drainage, the drainage of their bathroom or their toilet is not well sealed. So water is following that, or they have a broken pipe. So those are the reasons you might have water leaking from their place to your own place. So what you need to do is to stop that water leakage first. So you don't need to use Costa 2K. After you stop it, wait for some time, like two.
Okay, I think we are good to go. Never give up. We've been having a lot of challenges on today's live, but we never give up. We have 100 and something videos to do. We are just in number 40, so we are here together. We must finish. Uh, People have been calling me up and down, but let's get this to somewhere reasonable first. So what's the best paint for painting the surrounding of a house? So if you have a house, you want to paint the outside part of your house, here are some options. Here are the best paints you can use. The number one paint you can use is matte paint, especially when the place is created. Matte paint is a paint you can use. The other option you can also use is weather matte paint. These paints are built for weather durability. Why? Because they contain UV resistant chemicals that will prevent your paint from fading fast compared to other low grade paints. So these paints can withstand harsh weather condition. You can also use ordinary emulsion. The only thing is that ordinary emulsion will not last as long as weather mask and matte. So those are the options you have when you want to paint the exterior. Yes, you can also use graphic tests and other design paint like test coat as well. So those ones will also work, but these are the best option: matte and weather mask paints, and they come in different color as well. Somebody is asking, can one mix satin and emulsion to apply it on wall? The answer is yes, you can do that, but you are only improving the quality of the emulsion paint. So if you want something that if you want a higher grade paint, the reason most people mix satin and emulsion together is to improve the quality, to get something that's of high quality. Instead of doing that, spend that money to get matte paint, or you get weather matte paint. Those ones are already built for that. Imagine somebody built something that this is what you should use it for, like a doctor say this is what this drug is for, and you are saying let me go and find this and this one and add it together. No, follow the professional advice. The people that built maths, that formulated maths and weather maths, they've already put those things in consideration. What you are not thinking about, they've already thought about it. They've added it into the formulation, like UV resistance to protect your paint from sun. It's all so matte and weather mask already contains that, and other benefit that comes with them. So don't stop mixing emulsion and and satin together, unless probably you have leftover of the paints and then you say I don't want it to waste. You can go with that, but instead of that, if you are going to buy it from scratch, get matte or weather mask paint. So good morning. What's the ideal primer for satin paint? Yes, you can use any primer. For most primer are suitable for satin paint, but one of the best primer you can use are oil-based primer. Why? Because oil-based primer tend to stick very well to the wall compared to water-based primer. It's not that when you use water-based primer that they will not work. Yes, water-based primer will also work on the wall. So, but oil-based primer are better in terms of their stickiness to the wall. But if you still use water-based primer, you are good to go as well. So you can also, so if you have stain on the wall, you go for stain blocking primer. If you have let's say the wall is a fresh cement wall, so or they do cement squid in there, you get an alkali resisting primer to resist the alkalinity of the wall from affecting to protect your paint from the alkalinity of the wall. So those are the things you need to put in consideration before selecting a primer. So I think I've answered your question, Mr. Adekunle. Sorry it took time. Can one miss what color is best for your room in the industry area? So what if your house is in a dusty area? Here are some colors you can use to paint the house to protect it from dust. Number one is pay mushroom, or calabash, or Abuja brown. These are some colors that you can use. Why? Because pay mushroom in itself already looks like dust. So when you paint it on your wall, when there's dust on it, it's people might not easily recognize it. So other colors you can use are all these dark neutrals. You can use colors like cameo hybrid as well. So something that's not too light, don't use white. Everybody knows, don't use off white. So use colors that can absorb dust, so like the ones I mentioned. You can also use cameo. You can use rich brown. You can use chocolate in some cases, but chocolate also have some disadvantage because sometimes it might show dust easily. Like even black will show dust easily sometimes, but it also depends on the type of material you use. So if you use for example gloss on the outside, so gloss, whatever color you use, when there's sun and rain, even though there's dust on that particular place, rain will easily wash it off. You can even clean it yourself. So those are some things you need to put into consideration. Can I? Somebody is asking, can I do tiroling on a squidded wall? The answer is yes. You can do tiroling on a squidded wall. But if you already know that you want to do tiroling, there's no need for you to do squidding on that wall. Just on your bare cement, just put tiroling on it. It will work. So, but if you have done squidding already and you say, okay, can you use the tiroling? Yes, but you need to sandpaper the surface because tiroling is a paint is a design that needs roughness. So you need to create that roughness on that squidding because squidding is smooth. You need to create that roughness so that your tiroling will stick very well to the wall and will not end up peeling off and falling off. So those are the things you need to do. So I posted a video about putting damp like waterproof cement in all these waterproof chemicals inside a basket to seal it off, and then we pour water inside it. And some or in the comments, some people were like, "Will normal cement not have the same effect?" The answer is normal cement might not have the same effect. Why? Because when you put normal cement in a basket, which is something we can try later, is it might end up cracking. So normal cement might end up cracking compared to waterproof cement that have flexibility. You see, all these waterproof chemical, they are built for when you put them on the wall, they are like elastic. So they have that flexibility that most normal cement does not have. Well, that's why you see what normal cement cracking. But it will be rare for you to see all these waterproof cement from cracking. Why? Because they are built for that. So that's why when you see them on the wall, the way the place we put them, it will just be like you put rubber on the wall. Yes, they are cement, but they contain chemicals like glass fibers that will not let the waterproof cement from cracking. Because why? Because if it cracks, water can follow that place and come out, which will defy the essence of using that waterproof cement in the first place. Can you use Costa 2K and Crystal Coat to waterproof your bathroom floor before you tile it? The answer is yes, and it's one of the best things you can do for your bathroom. Now, you see, waterproof Costa 2K or Crystal Coat or any other waterproof product is usually recommended to put on the floor of your bathroom, including the wall of the bathroom, before you now put tiles. Why? It will prevent water from soaking in. Even though you put tiles, there are some cases that you put tiles and water will still soak in and come and affect the wall outside the bathroom. But once you put those waterproof chemicals and you put your tiles, the water will, even though water escape, the waterproof chemical will not allow the water to come out of the other side and then come and affect your bathroom. But if you are somebody that has your bathroom that's already affecting the other side, what you can do is to remove the tiles, apply Kosatuke and Crystal Coat, apply them on this negatives on the positive side and then the negative side, that is the inside and the outside. So you apply it on both sides, inside the bathroom and then outside the wall of your room outside. You apply it on both sides so it will fight the water in the two places before you now replaster and then repaint the place. So those are the things you can do. So what's the difference? Somebody is asking, what's the difference between test coat and satin paint? You see, test coat paint is a textured paint. It's a paint that contains stone. It's like normal emulsion paint, but they add stone in it, whether it's fine dust or the medium size. They add it in test coats while producing test coats, which is why you see it rough. But satin paint is the opposite. It is very smooth and glossy. So that's why you see satin paint, you can easily clean it. While test coat paint, you can't clean it. The other difference is that test coat paint, you can use it on the outside, but satin paint will not really stay on the outside. Yes, you can paint it, it will be beautiful so for some time, but it will quickly lose its sheen, that is shininess on the outside, and it will not last as long as test coat. So test coat paint for outside, satin paint for inside. And nowadays most people are moving away from test coat. Why? This is why, which is why they are using weather masks and mats, which are built for that weather ruggedity and durability. Hello? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning. 5 drum, 5 drum. Okay, the gloss, Abi. Okay, come to our office now. Shebi, you know how we to do it the last time now. I'm currently in a program. Just come to the office. Somebody will attend to you. That lady will attend to you. Yes, sir. We are running out of time. If you have painted your wall with gloss paints or any oil paints, if you have painted your wall with gloss paints or oil paints, this is the exact step you need to take to change that oil paints to emulsion paint or even satin paint. The first thing you need to do is to sandpaper the surface very well. Create, because what you want to do is to create a roughness that will allow any other thing you put on the wall to stick properly, because gloss paint or oil paint usually glossy and smooth. It's just like you having glass. So putting water on glass, it will just come down. But if you sandpaper the surface very well, you dust it, and then you apply a primer, a bonding primer on the wall, like 2 coats, and then you now apply whatever paint you want to put on it. So that way you can switch from oil base or gloss paint to emulsion, satin, matte, weather mask. So that's what you need to do. If you build your house in a rural area, here are some colors you can use to paint the house that will make the house look beautiful, inviting, and not too odd in that particular area. The number one color you can use is, you can combine rich brown with off white. Yes, rich brown and off white are two contrasting color that will bring out the beauty of your place, and will also blend with the surrounding. It will not look too much out of style. The number two color you can also use is eastern clay or eastern clay or terracotta, and then you combine it with let's say pay mushroom. So these two colors will also go very very well, because most house in the village or in rural areas are mud house. So eastern clay or terracotta has that kind of feel, but your own is modern. So the other color you can also use is chocolate and also off white, or chocolate and white. So these two color combination also create a contrast that brings out the beauty in your space. So let me know which of these color you think is the most beautiful, and which one you'll be going for. So one of the questions we normally ask people when they have dampness in their place is, are other people facing the same issue? And the reason we ask this question is, there are some dampness that's caused by your own lifestyle. Like most people, when they go out, they just close the door, close the window, or even when they are around, they close the door, close the window. Little ventilation, which means when they are cooking, taking their bath, all the water that's supposed to be escaping through the window, through the doors, will settle on the wall, and then they have paint peeling. That is localized to their place. But if you say that, okay, other people are having the same issue, let's say 2 3 neighbors are also having the same thing, that's when you know that it is a structural issue. Probably the water is coming from the foundation that's affecting everybody. But if it is localized to your place, that means something must be wrong in your place. So that's why we ask that question: is it only you that face that issue, or other people have that issue? So which is very important when you are treating dampness, when you are treating mold in your place. So if you want to change your paint from test coat to satin, here are some things you must do before you paint that satin on that test coat. So if you paint, why? Because if you paint satin directly on test coat, the stone will still be showing on the end result you get. But if you paint, what you need to do is to do squidding on that particular test coat. You do squidding, you sandpaper it, then you apply primer, and then you now paint your satin. So that way you get a smooth and beautiful finish. But if you just go ahead and paint satin on test coat, you will not really enjoy the end result. But if you don't mind, you still want the stone to be showing, yes, you can paint that. But probably instead of using satin, you can use matte paint for that. So what is a stabilizer? A stabilizer is a chemical solution that you can apply on your wall, especially when you have a wall that is dusty, that is choking. So you need something that will bind the wall, that will seal the wall. Yes, that's the proper word to use. That will seal the wall. So that is the work of a stabilizer. So for those of you that have your wall dusting off and every other thing, that is when you need a stabilizer. You put a stabilizer on the wall. Yes, you can use a primer after that and then paint your paint on it. So that's the work of a stabilizer, is to solidify your wall, to seal all the pores, and also repair the dusting wall before you now put something your paint on it, so that your paint will not end up peeling off at the end of the day. Somebody is asking, can I apply emulsion on test coat before screening? The answer is that's the wrong way to go. So now you have a test coat wall, you want to paint emulsion on it. What you need to do first is to apply screening on the test coat wall. Why? Because test coat is a rough surface, so the screening will help you smooth the surface before you now put the emulsion on it. So what you need to do is to do the screening first on the test coat. That will make the surface smooth, and then you apply a primer, and then you now paint the wall. So that is what you need to do, not that you put emulsion first, you now screed. That means you've not even painted. You get? So you need to screed first and then paint, because that's what people will see. Between using your hand to paint and using spraying machine to paint gloss, which one looks more beautiful? The answer is spraying machine looks more perfect and smoother than using hand. But again, it depends on the skill of the person that's painting it. There are some people that can use roller and brush to paint gloss, and then it will look very very perfect. But if you are just coming up getting a spraying machine, there are some handheld one that you can use nowadays to spray, and then you get a good result. This also goes with using spraying machine to paint emulsion paint and satin paint. Yes, if you it depends on the skill of the person doing the work. Should you use tyrolene on your fence? Here is my honest advice. Yes, if you want that particular design, yes, you can use tyrolene on your fence. It will come out fine. So but what you need to do is to make sure the fence has a rough surface before you now apply the tyrolene. Make sure you do a rough like a kind of plastering that is rough enough, and then you put your tyrolene on it. Yes, most people will be like, tyrolene will stop water, but not in every cases. It's not really a water resistant solution. Instead of using tyrolene for that, get all this waterproofing chemical, apply it on your wall, and then put whatever design you want to put on it. Don't let dampness stop you from getting the beauty out of your property. I did go. Sí àbí? Okay, máa yẹn ti pè yín. Ẹ ó ti wọlé. Ẹ ó yẹ kó fún wọn. White 5. Does priming reduce the shininess of your satin? The answer is no. You see, using a primer does not mean your satin will not shine very well. So it depends on the quality of the paint. So if you use a primer and then you paint your satin on it and you realize that the satin is not shiny, it's not the primer, it's the quality of the satin. Sorry. It's not the primer, it's the quality of the satin. So always use a primer. Use either you get a oil based primer or a water based primer. Always use a primer before before you use your satin paints. You end up getting a good finish. Let me check this. All this network. And let me just on the fan. Okay. So buying paint is better than producing. That's the short answer. So if you want to print, I don't know why my other phone. Let me because this one is not showing. This one is not showing all the questions. It's just showing a fixed. Yeah. Hello. Yes, sir. What was you there? Àwọn wa náà àwọn wa náà pariwo. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn landlord ló ń ṣe omi yẹn. Kò sí wàhálà. Ṣé kò síbi táwọn kọ́sọ́mà máa gbà ní? Okay, kò sí wàhálà.
Remember thing,
Eh?
I said by 10 we're sending some pictures.
Yes. Korodu. Work plenty for my neck, Jerry. Give me. Let me quickly get this thing. I wish I can finish this. I did number 61.
Okay, the one you have done back. And they are like 100.
100 and something. that other one, no record.
And the first one we did, we said that.
You did they pay me?
Well, I didn't you know it, but don't check her earlier.
I checked now, but
That's
even
good.
here it's still showing. It's still showing 50 something minutes. But when I play it, it's only showing 18 minutes. Abi. Or maybe when he finish processing, I don't know. And this is the best time to send that into Ikorodu. Let me log in on WhatsApp on this laptop. So I will drop the details. So is the guy that will pay the is Costa 2K5. So is the guy that will pay the this delivery. Okay. This Abuja one safe. Sure they don't deliver. Let me check the address. That the price should be less than 20K. Anything less than Berigbe Ikorodu. Anything less than 20K, let's book it. So they want to do work on that Ajah road. They will say they will block it on is it Sunday or so?
I saw the this thing, saw the
You seen it, have you?
mm.
It go tough. Oh.
That means anybody that want to go to that house
Hmm.
you have to
All
wait
these are
early,
delivery safe. They will now increase the price.
probably.
They will no, you say probably when there is hold up, you don't know that it's hold up. They used to check the delivery.
Shaping a network they bring the price. No be there, no, it's not an individual this thing.
It's not by individual. It's
It's a program that
network. It's based on the traffic and the demand.
okay.
That's how they bring the price. The phone number. I want to put the phone number out. This person did not send the phone number. What's his name?
So battery low.
Battery low. Maybe you don't try say let me see what I can do. Me, I'll just put his WhatsApp number. The person I know.
That one maybe when you rest small, maybe in the evening. Then tomorrow
I don't know my no say I don't know my movement. Any small thing like
you
this.
dey like air.
That's why now. Even this morning I was like, let me. Only God knows when I will be available again. Oh yeah, don't send them more processor. Papa. Okay. Yes, let me quickly chip in one or two things again. Just you never know what will happen. You never know what will happen. Let me see. Which color is best for student room? If you are a student and you want to paint your room, here are some colors. Fan. It's okay. Thank God say this thing get noise reduce you. That I don't record. I don't forget say.
The fan they disturb the
Yes. If you are a student, here are some colors you can paint your room as a student. And number one is light blue. Why? Because you are a student and you are facing a lot of trouble already. You need a cool and calm color that can bring your temperature down after the old trouble of lecturers and every other wahala. So at number two, the other color you can also use is lemon green. Lemon green is a color that also brings the calmness in your place as well, and is not too shouty, even though it contains some undertones of yellow. So, but it's still a color that also brings that freshness to your space. Another color you can also use is light green. Light green is also a color that also speaks nature. So, and it also brings out the color, the beauty in your room. Another color you can also use is white. White is safe and you don't need to think about it. And the type of paint you should be using as a student is, if you can afford this, use satin. Why? Because it's easily maintained. You can easily maintain it whenever it's dirty, and then you can easily clean it. So compared to emotion, but if you are thinking of cost, you can also paint ordinary emotion in your space as a student. You seen the stuff, have you? Please let's process it. It's ordinary cost at 2K. It does not have crystal code. That's 5. That will be 10 items. Here are some things you must do before you fix dampness in your space. So if the dampness is caused by leaking pipe or broken roof or exposed decking, you need to block that leak first before you say you want to treat the dampness. So for example, if it is caused by a leaking pipe at the roof, like on the upper floor of your space, try to find a plumber that knows how to that knows his work very well to find the source of the water of the leakage. So once you block that, whatever it is that you want to put will last long. But if you did not do that, you apply your chemical, it will reduce the strength and the durability of the chemical. So try to find the source first. If it is a leaking roof, try to block it first. Call a carpenter, call the people that repair roof, let them repair the roof first. Wait for the place to dry, the place that you are seeing the leakage in your own space to dry. Then you apply any chemical. It will help the strength of the chemical and it will improve the durability. Somebody is asking, can I use Weathermarks paint inside the house? The answer is yes. Weathermarks paint, even though Weathermarks paint is a paint that has that is built for ruggedity and durability, especially for the outside, it doesn't mean you can't use it on the inside because it comes in different beautiful color: dark gray, white, brown, blue, light blue, lemon blue, navy blue. All those colors. Weathermarks, you can get Weathermarks paints in those colors, and it's also very good on the inside, especially when your plastering is smooth already. You can use Weathermarks paint on the inside as well as outside. Should you mix primer and satin together before you apply it on the wall? No, that's not the proper way to use primer. So you see, primer is an undercoat while your satin is a top coat. So what you need to do first is to apply the primer on two coats, wait for it to dry, and then you place your satin on it. Why? Because a primer is meant to be a gum, is meant to be like a gum between your wall and your satin. So mixing them together will reduce the effectiveness of both the primer and the satin. The right way to use it is to place the primer first and then you put the satin on it. Somebody is asking, can you still use DPC for an already for a house they've already built? The answer is yes, but you have to be very very careful. You need to find a structural engineer or the engineer that built that place initially for them to break the bottom of the close to the foundation and manually install the DPC. Because if you do it, you give it to a quack, they might end up demolishing your house for free. 20 let's use 20. So if unless you just if you give it to a quack, they might end up demolishing your house for free without taking a penny from you. So make sure you give it to an expert that knows how to do it. They can manually insert the DPC and then replaster the surface.
About that woman at Philips.
By weekend we should go to her place again. If your pop is changing color after some times, here are some reasons that can cause that, and this is exactly how to fix it. Now, one of the reasons that can cause that is water. Like that is, water is coming from the upper side, whether it's a roof that's above you or there's a floor above you. Water is coming from there and then it's staining your POP. So the simple solution to that is to find the cause of the water above you, whether it's your roof that's leaking. Let them block it, and then it will stop changing color. So that way you can apply a stain blocking primer and repaint that place. So the other reason is if they use a wrong material in the pop, that is, they did not mix the right material in the right proportion. So the solution to that is to redo the pop if you have the capacity to do it, or you can also apply a stain blocking primer and then repaint. But the issue with that is that probably they did not mix the material very well, and it makes the pop or is already weak. The pop, because of them using wrong material, the pop is not that strong. So you need to refix it. But if it is still strong but and it's just changing color, you can just use a stain blocking primer and then you repaint the place. It should suffice. All right, okay. Okay, let's answer some questions here. If you okay, oh God. Let me charge my system. And what's thank you very much for joining.
Oga, wey cause the drama. This one come dey follow me dey back. I say, ah, you sold 20,200. That is what I accepted. So we say, me I go find am something, I go add something. Say that price. Although other people brought 26, 25, 27, but na only him bring 20,200. He say I go ask. I say there's no need to bargain na. It's a price online that I click. So he say it's coming. That is what he say. Say I go ask am. Say no, this is what is online. It's 20,200. That is what I click. If it's okay by you.
Tell am say na your oga send you.
Better. So make we arrange am that.
Yeah, no.
But me I know say you dey even do am well, but I no wan tell am say yes, because you go come say shebi you say you go ask so.
No agree. Make if he reach there, you come talk say add you something. Because you no know wetin he go meet for road. If you add am something now, if he reach there again.
You come think say you don hook people neck. Shebi you talk say add something.
Sorry, people on TikTok. Come and eat even though I don't finish am. Oops. Wow. We still have a lot of great people here. Let's answer TikTok question before we move on. We are on 70, number 70 of 100 and something questions. Some questions that people are asking on TikTok. Ah. I think let me cancel this one. This one is still showing old messages. I need to log in again. So somebody say how much is your primer? So our primer is 25,000 for the small one. Yes, we can paint your house for you. Add gold. Please message us 0904-357-5896. That's the number on WhatsApp. WhatsApp only. Our location is in Lagos. So the price of our paint satin is 72,000. This one matte is 68,000. Weather mask is 70,000. Emulsion is 19,000. Costa 2K is 60,000. Uh, Damp Master is 400,000. Crystal Coat is 70,000. Our top mode defense kit is 30,000. So you see, our top mode defense kit for those of you that have mold in your house and mold is causing you health problem, and you keep going to the hospital, or your children you keep sending your children to the hospital, this is the right chemical for you to use. A top mold defense kit. So what does it do? It's a chemical that will help you kill all the mold in the house. So but it will not stop the dampness that is causing that mold. This is very handy for you if you are somebody that rents the house. You don't want to start using all this chemical that will that will need you to remove the plaster on the wall and then spend a lot of money. With these chemicals, you can spend up to 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, or 4 million in some cases. and then in some cases you might not even solve the problem. So but with this one now, it will help you kill the mold on the wall, which is the thing that is causing your children the earth problem. So with that, after using it, you can wipe it off. We have a video of how to use it, and it also comes with the instruction of how to use it. So this is a top mode defense system. So you see it comes with the instruction of step by step of how to use it, and it also comes with a kit that you use to apply the chemical on your wall, so you don't need to start searching for anything. Everything that you need to apply the chemical is there already. That's why we call it a kit. So if you have mold in your house, you don't want to spend a lot of money, just get the top mode defense kit. It will solve your mold problem. Ah, it's like some questions have disappeared, but let me quickly go through the ones that have not disappeared. So if I've not answered your question and it has disappeared, please resend it. I'm trying as much as possible to answer all the questions. Let me check this one. Okay, we're still good here. Somebody is asking, is the cement in Costa 2K the same as the cement as the normal cement? The answer is no. Yes, Costa 2K cement contains the normal Portland cement, all this Dangote Bua cement. It contains the ingredients in that cement plus like 6 or 7 other ingredients that they put in it. The reason what you need to know is that normal cement does not have that flexibility. It does not have that let me just say flexibility. So and it does not have that waterproofing property that all these other cement, all this waterproof cement has. That's why you cannot use normal cement to do waterproofing or even screeding, because they don't contain the necessary ingredient that, like glass fiber and other ingredient that they use to do all this waterproof solution. So if you have water issue in your place, don't do cement screeding, don't do any other screeding. Don't say you want to replaster the place, because if you replaster the place, it's going to come back like the way immediately you are dropping your plastering material, the water is already is already showing on the wall. So instead, use a waterproof cement, because they are built for that. They love water. So can primer stop your wall from peeling? The answer is yes and no. It depends on the type of wall and the condition of the wall. Now, if the wall is wet, whether you use a primer or you did not use a primer, the paint you put on it will still peel if water is in that wall, if the wall is soaked. But if you have a wall that is just a normal wall and is dry, so if you use a primer, it will help your paint bond very well to the wall, and it will prevent it from peeling very fast. So that is the essence of a primer. But if you apply a primer on a wet wall, it will not stop water, it will not stop your paint from peeling. What you need to do is to get waterproof solution like Costa 2K and Crystal Coat. You apply it on the wall, and then you replaster your wall, and then you repaint. That will end up solving your problem. Somebody is asking, can weathermask paint cover a rough wall? The answer is no. Weathermask paint is just like matte paint. It's like normal emulsion paint. The work of weathermask is to make your house, your wall look beautiful. Your house look beautiful. It will not cover cracks. It will not cover bumpiness. It's just to make the house come out more beautiful compared to using ordinary paint. No, weathermask will not cover cracks or smoothing your wall. It will only make it look beautiful and brighter. Does Costa 2K work like screeding? The answer is no. And the difference is that Costa 2K is meant to go on your block, the block, while screeding is meant to go on your plastering. Now, screeding, like Costa 2K, is meant to go and fight the water that's coming from your block, while screening will just stay on the surface of your plaster after you have done it. Now the proper way to apply Costa 2K and crystal coat is to apply it like you remove the plaster on the wall if you have already done the plastering, and then you now apply Costa 2K on the block itself, not on the plaster, on the block itself. When it dries, you apply, you replaster the place, and then you now do screening so on top, and then you can now paint. So that's the proper way to apply Costa 2K, and that's the difference between Costa 2K and screeding. Costa 2K will not screed your place. It is meant to serve as like a layer, a protective layer, to go and block the water that's coming from your block, while screeding is meant to smoothen the whole thing after you have done it. So somebody is asking, how can you turn a dove gray color to a dark gray color? So the simple answer is to add black pigment, or you add black paste. So but use pigment instead of paste. Why? Because black paste usually fade faster, while pigments usually last longer. So you add a black colorant in the dove gray to deepen it, and then you get a dark gray. But you should make sure you did not add too much black. So add a considerable quantity of black. Once you add small, you stir it, so that you see the results before you now add more. Because if you add too much, you end up getting black, not gray. But what paints cleans easily? But what type of paint can you clean easily with soap and water? The answer is satin and semi-gloss, and even gloss paint. So if you want a paint that you can easily clean anytime it's dirty, go for satin paint or gloss paint. So these two paints, or semi-gloss paints, are because of their nature, because they are smooth and they are close to glass, so they are easily cleanable compared to ordinary matte or weather matte or emulsion paints. So if you want something that's easily cleanable, go for satin or gloss or semi-gloss. Somebody is asking, does Tuco paint expire? The answer is yes, because it's a paint. Any type of paint has their expiry date, because they are made of chemicals, and all these chemicals, if they are left for long, let's say 2 3 years, they might end up expiring. And some you can leave them as long as 4 5 years and they will still be like that. So it depends on the way they mix the chemical and the type of chemical they use for that particular paint. So any paint can expire, depending, you're always, but what you can do is to check the production date and make sure it's closer to the date. What I mean is that if you are buying paints in December, make sure maybe they produce it in, let's say, November, October, like very close, not that they produce it 2 years ago and you want to buy it now. So the likelihood of it expiring faster is high. Somebody is asking, can you apply Costa 2K without peeling your plastering, without removing plaster? The answer is yes, but it's not advisable. You see, for you to get the best result out of Costa 2K or any waterproof solution, you need to remove the plaster. Why? Because in most cases, the plaster is already wet, so you need to remove it, so that whatever it is you want to, after you remove it, you are very sure that your Costa 2K is really fighting what it's supposed to be fighting, and it's not just on a weak surface. So That's why. But in some cases, if the wetness is not that strong, like it's just on a minimal level, and you don't want to start peeling the wall, yes, you can use it, but it's not really advisable because it will reduce the durability of the coaster 2K or any waterproof solution you want to use. Should you sandpaper your wall before using satin? The answer is should you sandpaper your wall after you have used should you sandpaper your wall after you have used primer, or should you not sandpaper it? The answer is yes, you can sandpaper the wall to give it you can use a light sandpapering on the wall so that the satin or whatever paint you want to paint on it can stick properly to the wall as well. So in painting, it's usually very good to sandpaper, to do light sandpapering between coats. Why? Because it creates a kind of friction that will let whatever paint or whatever top coat you want to put on that wall to stick properly to the wall. Somebody is asking, can you mix gloss paint with emulsion paint? The answer is no. Why? Because gloss paint is a oil based paint, while emulsion paint is a water based paint. Just imagine you mixing kerosene or petrol inside water. You see the way it will float. That's the way gloss paint will also float when you mix it with emulsion paint, which is water based paint. You will not achieve an homogeneous solution, that is a smooth solution that you can use to paint your wall. So don't mix them together. What you can do is paint some parts with gloss, some other parts with emulsion, so that way maybe probably you have leftover, so paint some parts with gloss, some other parts with emulsion.
That man has declined, sha.
Okay, decline. So we
Yes.
are looking for another person.
Yes.
Hope you have not put the cement out. It's like rain want to fall.
But that my brother is there.
Okay. Here are some things you need to do before painting the wall of an abandoned building. You see, after you've abandoned a building for some time, there are some things that will have happened to that particular building. One is mold and algae will have grown on that wall. You need to treat that wall first by using a biocidal wash, or you use a wall conditioner on that particular wall. So after that, you scrape the wall, sandpaper the wall properly, and then you apply a primer, and then you paint the wall. So if you did not do all these things, you later realize that the paint you put on the wall, the green algae is still showing after you have painted the wall. So do all these things before you now say okay, you want to repaint the wall. And if on the inside you've seen a lot of mold on the wall, you can use chemicals like a top mold defense kit, put it on the wall on the inside to kill all the mold, and then before you now repaint the place. So you can, if you also see some stains on the wall, you can use a stain blocking primer before you apply your paint. So those are the things you need to do before painting an abandoned building.
They are not bringing small prices.
Hey.
25, 900, 25, 26.
It's because you cancel. Oh.
No, no. Even the only 20, 200 is that guy that I clicked.
Hmm.
Man, maybe that's the reason he was saying no, I should add something.
Did you see 23? Wait for it small. Let's see if you get lower price.
25, I think. It's still 25, 900, 27, 26.
Even after waiting. Is it after waiting itself? We did not get
The only 20 I saw was that guy, I think. Even now it's 25, 26, I'm seeing.
let's get 25. I'll message the guy. If you are some hello, hello, hello. If you are somebody that likes if you are somebody that likes gold, here are some colors you can pair with gold that will bring out the luxurious feel in your space. At number one is black. Yes, gold and black are always classic, so you can combine the gold with the black by probably painting the wall with some part of the wall with black and the other with gold, or you use your throw pillow and the other design as gold. So the other thing you can do, the other color you can also pair with gold is navy blue. Yes, navy blue has always been very very vibrant when you combine it with gold. Another color you can also combine with gold is let me give you. So another color you can combine with gold is white. So you can also combine gold and white. It's always very beautiful. I saw a space the other day at around Lekki, and they painted most of the house with white, and then they use gold as the accents and the trim. That house looks very very beautiful. So let me know which of this color is your favorite and which one you'll be going for in your next project. Let me check this. Is it still recording?
Yes, sir.
They will soon off, but let me quickly.
Yes, sir. Battery. Yes.
Hello. Yeah. Mo ń gbọ́. Yeah. Okay, màá check ẹ̀. Oya, hello, mo ń gbọ́ ẹ. Oya, Mr. Innocent, let's book that 25 something. Hello, mo ń gbọ́ ẹ, mo ń gbọ́ ẹ, mo ń gbọ́ ẹ, mo ń gbọ́ ẹ. Pápápá mo ń ṣèkọ lọ́wọ́. Mo ń gbọ́ ẹ sẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣé nìkan send owó ni? Ẹ tí wàá rí. Èló ló ń send? Mo ń gbọ́ yín. Okay, màá check ẹ̀. So between screening and using wallpaper, which one should you do? The answer is screening is better than wallpaper. Why? Because screening lasts longer compared to wallpaper. Wallpaper is sensitive to moisture. A little bit of water on wallpaper will make it peel, but with screening, it can still resist some level of dampness. So screening is better than wallpaper and it lasts longer. But if it's a place you just rent, you don't want to spend too much money, you know your landlord might chase you away after 6 months. Yes, you can go with wallpaper if it is what you also desire. So somebody is asking, can certain paint be mixed with water? The answer is yes. So, but you don't. But you have to be careful when mixing water with certain. You make sure you did not mix too much water with it. Little bit of water is okay, especially nowadays. Most paints are not as thick as before again. So only mix little amount of water with certain. In fact, in most cases, maybe 1 liter to 20 liters, or even less than that. 1 liters of water to 20 liters of satin is okay. So don't mix too much water with satin unless it will ruin your finish. Somebody is asking, is primer also paint? No, primer is not a paint. Primer is meant to make your paint stick to the wall properly and also enhance the durability of your paints. So yes, even though primer has color but it's not a paint, you still need something that has colorant, that has color, which is a paint, to paint on your wall to give it that beauty your building deserves. So somebody is asking, can I get already made screening that I will just open and use without having to mix anything? Yes, we have something we call Robusto screed. It's not here. Robusto screed, and it's called Putty screed. Putty, Putty, Putty screed, which is what most companies produce nowadays. Most paint companies now have their own Putty screed, and it's very very strong, especially for both inside and outside screening of the house. And it also saves you stress as a painter, as a screeder, and as even an house owner of going out to buy different materials that you are not sure of their quality. Get a Putty screed. It will end up saving you money, saving you stress, and saving you time. 92, 148, 92. Okay, let's get. Can we get this to 100? Let me check. Look at. What's the number of this? Hello, 25, èló ló pé náà? Àti ó ti wọlé dẹ̀ 8,000 lẹ́ẹ̀mejì àbí? Okay, ó ti wọlé.